Jai Hind दोस्तों, welcome to AP Academy. Today we are going to discuss about Narmada Bachao Andolan. This is also a very important social movement which is related to environment. And this movement was started against a number of large dam projects across the Narmada River, which flows through the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Madhya Pradesh. This movement was started by some farmers, environmentalists, human rights activists, as well as the native tribes, which were called as adivasis. Now, why this actually happened? Why this movement have been started? We will look into that. But this movement was started in 1985. If you see in this picture, there is a lady is there. Her name was Medha Patkar. She was the leader of this movement, which was the movement has been carried out under her leadership, that is Medha Patkar. Now, what is the mode of campaign? Now this campaign is actually Narmada Bachao Andolan, includes hunger strikes. They have done hunger strikes, they have done rallies, clear, and they have also got notable for supports from the film industries and art personalities. So this is actually happened, and lot of popularity this movement have got. So the leading, as we are told, that the leading spokesperson of this Narmada Bachao Andolan is Medha Patkar, and along with Medha Patkar, there is another person who is there, whose name is Baba Amte. I'll show you the picture of Baba Amte, and these two persons are the leading spokespersons of this Andolan. And due to this courageous decision or the courageous movement which these two have done, for that they have got the Right Livelihood Award in 1991. So this movement is actually a very important movement. Now, if you look at it, why this movement has been started? So for this we have to go in the history of this movement. So when India has got independence in 1947, then the newly formed government, Jawaharlal Nehru's government, investigate some issues regarding the use of the Narmada water. As we all know that Narmada is flowing around now. If you see in the current scenario, it is flowing around Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, and Maharashtra, and then flows into the Arabian Sea. But at the time of independence, as we all know, that Gujarat and Maharashtra, they both belonging to a same state, that is Bombay state. So there is a huge problem between the Madhya Pradesh state and the Bombay state regarding the usage of the water which is present. So it is going a very huge dispute. As we all know that regarding the usage of the river, there is a lot of dispute around it, and from that only, so for that the government has decided to initiate a tribunal. The government have made Narmada Water Dispute Tribunal, which was started on 6th October 1969. So this was the day when the Narmada Water Dispute Tribunal has been launched. And the working of this tribunal is to investigate and to give the conditions to the government of India about the usage of the water amongst the states. So this tribunal investigated the matter, and it took around 10 years. So this tribunal takes 10 years. Now, What are the aim of this tribunal? Now, sir, the aim of this tribunal is actually to rectify or to refer the matters that are what are the conditions for the resettlement and rehabilitation of those displaced persons by the dam. See, whenever a dam has been constructed in the river, the peoples which are getting affected, the peoples who are there living around the river valley, there are lot of peoples, lot of villages are there, their farming activities, their agriculture land is there. So whenever the dam has been constructed, there is a severe impact on these agricultures villagers as well as the peoples who are living there. So, whenever the government announces to create or to build a dam in any river, then they have to first rehabilitate as well as they have to resettle the peoples who are there living in around the river valley, as well as they will have to compensate the people because they are losing their livelihood, they are losing their settlement, they are losing their houses. So the government responsibility is to provide them the rehabilitation as well as the resettlement. Now the Andolan has been started. The main focus of this Andolan is when there is a dam which is there is Sardar Sarovar Dam which is in Gujarat. Clear? So whenever there are government has issued the notification that there are few number of dams have to be constructed in the river as well as to increase the height of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. So the Andolan has been started only because the government has deliberately or not deliberately, they have not focused on the issues of the rehabilitation and resettlement. This was the major concern because you are constructing dam, and the dam, as we all know, our former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru ji have told that dams are the lords of modern temple. They have called the dams as the modern temple because the dams provide the agriculture irrigation as well as the dams are made to produce electricity. So dams is having a lot of importance for the development of the nation. So the Andolan has been started, but the Andolan is started only because they do not have any problem with the development or the development process or the you are constructing dam, but they are concerned about that the rehabilitation or the resettlement has not been clearly defined. You are starting a project, lot of peoples have been getting affected, so it is the responsibility of the government to focus on the issues of the resettlement as well as rehabilitation. So when in 1979 the investigation has been completed by the Narmada Tribunal, they have released to the government that in Narmada River there are around 3,000 small dams to be approved, and they have also included the raising of the height of Sardar Sarovar Dam. Okay, now this decision has been made in order to quantify that there are 40 million peoples who will get the benefit through irrigation as well as electricity to the people in the region. So at that point of time the construction has been begun. Now when the construction has been begun in 1985, when this lady Medha Patkar and her colleagues have visited Sardar Sarovar Dam and they exactly examined the project site as well as the project work. So this project work has been started by the Ministry of Environment and Forest. So Government of India. Now the thing is that when they have investigated and when they have visited the site, they have said that there is no clarification about how to rehabilitate or resettle the peoples who are getting affected from these dams. See, the reason behind it, that the peoples himself, the peoples, when they talk to the peoples also did not know about the information about the constructions of the dams. So actually this project of this Narmada Bachao Andolan, it was financed by World Bank. So World Bank also came into the picture, and when she approached to the World Bank, then they have also not mentioned about, their fund has not mentioned about any rehabilitation or resettlement. So she started protesting, because if you are making the dam, then you have to first rehabilitate and resettle the peoples which are getting affected. So at that point of time, the Medha Patkar has been started fasting. She has fasted for 22 days and nearly lost his life. Nearly lost his life. So at that point of time, the pressure was on the government as well as the World Bank, and the World Bank has withdrawn all the funds and the project has been stopped in 1993. This project has been stopped in 1993. Now, it was so Medha Patkar have got a victory over that. The peoples have their rights for rehabilitation. She told that we need only, and the organizations also, there are very organizations are there, and they have given a slogan, that is विकास चाहिए विनाश नहीं, कोई नहीं हटेगा बांध नहीं बनेगा. They have given the slogan this, in order to, the dam should not be constructed. Development wanted but not destructions. So development चाहिए, but development they want, but they on the basis of not for the destructions. So after that, now what is the decision or what is the outcome of this Narmada Bachao Andolan? So I will discuss the outcome. First of all, let us understand what is Narmada Bachao Andolan. I hope you understand. Now let us go to the slides. So what is this Narmada Bachao Andolan? Narmada Bachao Andolan is an Indian social movement superheaded by native tribals which were called as adivasis, farmers, environmentalists and human rights activists against a number of large dam projects across the Narmada River, which flows through the states of Gujarat, Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh. Sardar Sarovar Dam in Gujarat is one of the biggest dam on the river and was one of the first focal point of the movement. It is the part of Narmada Dam Project, whose main aim is to provide irrigation and electricity to people of the above states. Next point, if you see, the mode of campaign under NBA, that is Narmada Bachao Andolan, includes court actions, hunger strikes, rallies and gathering support from notable films and art personalities. The NBA, with its leading spokesperson Medha Patkar and Baba Amte, received the Right Livelihood Award in 1991. Now, as we all know, we have understood about the background that after India's independence in 1947, Jawaharlal Nehru investigations were carried out to evaluate mechanism for using waters from Narmada River, which flows into the Arabian Sea after passing through the states of Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat. The formation of the Narmada Water Dispute Tribunal was triggered by interstate difference in implementing schemes and sharing of waters by the Government of India on 6th October 1969 to adjudicate over the disputes. The tribunal investigated the matter, referred to it and responded after more than 10 years. I've told you in 1969 a tribunal has been formed, and after 10 years they have given the response. The Narmada Tribunal aimed to set up conditions regarding the resettlement and rehabilitation of those displaced by the dams. So after 10 years of investigation, the decision was given to the Indian government, and as per the tribunal's decision, 3,000 small dams were approved for the construction, including the raising of the height of the Sardar Sarovar Dam. Now, this decision has motivated by the assumption that 40 million peoples will get the benefit of irrigation as well as the electricity to the people in the region. Thus, the construction began. But in 1985, after hearing about Sardar Sarovar Dam, Medha Patkar and her colleagues visited the project site and noticed that the project work was being checked due to an order by the Ministry of Environment and Forest, Government of India. The reason for this was cited as non-fulfillment of basic environmental conditions and the lack of completion of crucial studies and plans. The people who were getting to be affected by the construction of the dam were given no information but the offer for rehabilitation. Villagers were concerned and were asked for a feedback on the assessment that had taken place. Furthermore, the official related to the project had not even checked the land records and updated them. Means whenever, see, you have told that, you have told verbally, you have told that you will get to rehabilitation, but you have not found any, you have no records of the land, that which person is having what amount of land and how will you update it. So the World Bank is also come into the picture. The financing agency for this project came into the picture. Patkar approached the ministry to seek clarification. See, Patkar is concerned for the rehabilitation and she went to the Ministry of Environment for the clarification. Now, after seeking the answers from the ministry, she realized that the project was not sanctioned at all and wondered as to how funds were even sanctioned by the World Banks. After several studies, they realized that the officials had overlooked the post-project problem. So, actually, the reason or the bottom line for this Andolan is that the officials have overlooked the post-project problems. Means they have not concerned about the rehabilitation. So this is Medha Patkar. She is the leader of this protest, Narmada Bachao Andolan, and I've told you along with this a person is there alone, that is Baba Amte, and both have got the Livelihood Award in 1991. Now, how it is formed, if you can understand, there are many groups as Gujarat based Narmada Asar Ghash Samiti, Madhya Pradesh based Narmada Ghati Nav Nirman Samiti, and Maharashtra based Narmada Dharangrash Samiti, who either believed in the need for fair rehabilitation plans for the people or who vehemently opposed dam construction despite a resettlement policy. See, they are not opposing the dam construction. They are opposing only that the resettlement policy has not been clearly defined. So Narmada Bachao Andolan was also joined by several NGOs with local people, professionals and activists as the founders with a non-violent approach. It was led by Medha Patkar. Nationally, they wanted an alternative structure of development, and internationally, they wanted to build pressure on the World Bank to take accountability. Now, as we all told, I have told you that the NBA slogan was Vikas Chahiye Vinash Nahi. कोई नहीं हटेगा and बांध नहीं बनेगा. What are the outcomes? See, the outcome came, the court ruled that they immediately stopped the work at the dam and directed the concerned states to complete the rehabilitation and replacement process. The court have clearly defined that there should be immediate stoppage of the work of the dam and directed the concerned states to complete the rehabilitation. It deliberated on this issue further for several years and finally upheld the Tribunal award and allowed the construction to proceed subject to conditions. See, court has given the order, but they have given under certain conditions. The court introduced a mechanism to monitor the progress of resettlement hand in hand with a raised height of the dam through the grievance redressal authorities in each party state. See, the court has told that you have to resettle as well as you have to raise the height of the dam. You can do it, but you have to resettle the peoples who are getting affected. So the both the work should be getting side by side. The decision referred in this document given in 2000 after 7 years of deliberation has paved the way for completing the project to attain full envisioned benefits. The court's final line of the order states that every endeavor shall be made to see that the project is completed as expeditiously as possible. Medha Patkar continues to fight for the proper rehabilitation of the displaced person. She continued with the fight in Madhya Pradesh, and this movement has been brought forth for the different notation of development. Indian government has been argued that it is for the development and it will help a lot of peoples, and there are certain peoples who are not fulfilling. So there are a lot of criticisms have also been got in this Narmada Bachao Andolan. But finally, when the Sardar Sarovar construction was started in 1999 and it was declared to be finished in 2006, so now it was inaugurated in 2017 by our Prime Minister Narendra Damodar Das Modi. Since the construction, the height has been of the Sardar Sarovar Dam has been increased. So this is all about Narmada Bachao Andolan. I hope you understand each and every point, why this Andolan happened, what are the consequences of that. So this is also a very important movement in the Indian history. So I hope that you should understand the way this movement has been gone, and you should have to understand this. So that's it from now. I hope you understood the lecture, and if you like our channel, so please subscribe it and like our video as much as possible. So thank you. Jai Hind.